Can you?
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Okay, put it down, Paris. Tito Jojo.
She's writing it down.
Tito Jojo. Tito Jojo knows Hawaii rideshare driver.
All right.
Okay, good morning folks. Good morning, Paris. Good morning.
Hi everyone.
I want you to give me permission to tape the conversation and also the releasing to YouTube.
Of course.
Yes?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And then, right now, before you start the conversation, sir, I want you to think of a good title for this because that's what I'm gonna put. You're gonna text it to me.
It's gonna be called Gary's in the Gambia.
Yeah, okay.
Because my last name is Gary, and all our last name is Gary, and we will be Gary's in the Gambia. And Gambia's the G-A-M.
You know, just text it to me later.
Okay, gotcha.
So, okay, tell me about what you're gonna be doing here. What you've been doing.
Well, first I'm going to be going out for a month or so, just to be looking over the area, just getting accustomed to certain things, and getting to meet a few people that I've already gotten in contact with already out there. I'm going to be looking for some land for myself and for the family here. I'm going to be doing some poultry farming, as well as I'm going to start my own farm.
Where are you gonna be going? What country?
Continue on
It's called
Renton
the
Road for
Gambia.
3/4 of a mile.
The Gambia is like the smallest landlocked country inside of the Senegal. So if you Senegal, which would be in what is that? West Africa.
Okay, what's the population there?
The population of the Gambia is 2.2 million. Not very many people in the Gambia, but the Senegal, which is surrounded by it, is a lot more people, probably like 20 million.
Oh yeah?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be starting my farm. I want everybody to be taking a look. I'm going to be breeding I am Samani chickens, which is the all black chicken from when they're black from the beak to the cheeks, you know. And I'm also going to be breeding the black Americana. So the name of the farm is, be on the lookout. It's going to be called Black Cock Farm. So Gary's in the Gambia, and also look out for the Black Cock Farm. We're gonna have the best chicken, the best vegetables around. Keep your mind out the gutter.
That's a nasty name, man.
That's not a nasty name because male chickens are called cocks.
All right.
And I'm gonna have nothing but black cocks all around.
Hawaii 76 North.
You know?
You're funny, man. Okay,
Hey.
go talk some more, man. Go
No,
ahead,
you know, well, that's what we're going to do. So like I say, I'm going to go out there. I'll be out there for a couple of months just to see how things are. Probably find me a few pieces of land. And then once I get things set up and I feel a little bit more comfortable,
Use the
I'm gonna
left
come
2
back
lanes to turn
and let
left
the
on
family
Hawaii
come out there.
76
You know, I don't want to make that trip right now because I know me, I'll be roughing it a little bit. You know, I might end up sleeping on the farm a little bit, sleeping in there with the chickens and everything. I don't want my kids to have to sleep with the chickens right now.
Do you have any background in poultry raising?
No, I don't have any background in it, but I have the eagerness to want to learn. I've been learning. My grandfather, he was in farming. Both of my grandfathers in farming. I was the only one that didn't want to do it. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to cook. And I realized that I've always loved food. I've always loved animals. So the best thing for me to do is to start a farm-to-table restaurant. So that's why I'm gonna start my farm. It's gonna have all different type of vegetables. I'm gonna have my poultry out there. And I'm gonna start, like I said, a farm-to-table restaurant where literally 90 to 95% of the stuff that's gonna be on my farm will be on my menu. The only thing that won't be on, that I'll probably use, you know, like oil, little things that I won't be making, certain seasonings. But I literally want everything from my farm to go straight to the table. My chickens is going to be literally so farm to table. When people come in, certain chickens that I'm going to have ready to be, to be ate. I want people to be able to look out and say, hey, I want that chicken right there.
The black cock chicken.
I want the black cock. I want the big black cock over there. How much he is? And I'm going to let him know he's going to be around about $5,000 if you want me to kill him now. Which I'm going to give you the best experience that you could ever have.
The best black cock chicken.
You know, that's what it's all, because you know, the chickens don't get no more than
So the name on the menu will be, the specialty name will be black cock chicken, fried chicken.
No, it'll be the name of the farm is Black Cock Farms, but the restaurant that I'll be starting, the name of the restaurant is going to be called Fully Loaded. The reason why I'm calling it Fully Loaded is because I have I love potatoes, you know, like loaded potatoes,
Continue
stuffed
on Hawaii
peppers. So this is
76
gonna be
north
something
for
I'm
3
gonna have in my
miles.
restaurant. All the different types of way that you can load a potato with. I'm gonna do seafood, chicken, veggie style. The bell peppers are gonna be stuffed bell peppers, every different type of way, all the different beautiful colors, red, green, purple, chocolate, everything. And then the chicken, you know, like I said, I'm gonna have different types of chicken. The I am Somali is much more rare because they only produce like about 80 eggs per year. Now, if you want something a little bit more affordable, I'll have like other chickens around it, you know, to lay a little bit more, something around that. But the reason why people are getting the I am Somali chicken is because, like I say, it's it's black from beak to cheek all the way down to its feet. And when you get ready to slaughter, the meat is completely black all the way to the bone. Everything is black. So it's considered to be a delicacy in Indonesia. That's why they have it. It's supposed to have like mystical, you know, some people feel, you know, mystical powers. But, you know, I just like it because I like the way the bird looks, the beautiful birds. And I just want to have this, you know, I came up with my own theme. I say, you know what, everybody have chickens all around. I'm going to have nothing but a whole bunch of black chickens around, and what's be the best thing to call it besides Black Cock Farms if they got nothing but black chickens running around? You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
And it'll be a name that you can't forget. I know if you ever hear Black Cock Farms again, you're gonna know who said it first. Right here.
Right here.
It's just like with just like Tom Ford when he came out with his some of his cologne. One of his colognes that I wear is called Fucking Fabulous. Excuse my expression. I'm sorry. I know you might have to bleep that, but that's one of the it's what's called Effing Fabulous, and it's not spelled effing. It's spelled all the way out. He has another fragrance called Rose Prick. So I'm sure we know, you know, little names that, you know, have like a double meaning, you know.
So tell me about your being a chef. Where did you start?
Well, my start came as a child. I'm gonna be honest with you. The very first time I fell in love with cooking, I think I might have been about 6 or 7 years old when I snuck into the kitchen on Mother's Day to try to make my mom some breakfast. I made her some scrambled eggs, and I put too much salt in them. And I'll never forget that because I put so much salt in there, and I tasted it. I'm like, oh my God, it's so salty. But then I brought it to her with a bowl of cereal, and then she tasted it, and she made this funny face like, oh baby, you put too much salt in there, huh? I was like, oh, you don't like it? She's like, it's just a lot of salt. And I realized at that age, I must have been like 6 or 7, that I always cared about how people thought about my food, and I always wanted people to really enjoy it from that very first moment. So every time I cook, my wife, she'll tell you the same thing. It's something about, I might not even eat first. I'll cook the food and I'll be looking at my little peripheral vision in my eye just to see what they might be thinking. It's just something about me. I just always, that's the reason why I got into healthcare before I ventured into my entrepreneurship. I was always in healthcare because I always wanted to be in a situation where people would be very appreciative of what people brought to you, and that I know that they weren't paying. You know, they weren't paying me, so I knew that I really had to impress them because they know that they could say whatever they want to say. And
use the right 2 lanes to take the Interstate H1 East ramp to Honolulu.
In the nursing home, happy with the food, you know, that I had something going. But then I realized, you know, most of my stuff, just like you probably realized by doing the Uber, that, you know, I really want to work for myself. Like, you know, and my teacher, for the time, I'm 42 years old, and my kids, you know, they know nothing but hard-working dad. Go to work, I'm gone, 16 hours a day, pleasing
use the
everybody
right
else,
2
and I
lanes
come
to
home
take the
tired,
Interstate
trying
H1
to
East
do the
ramp.
best that I can for them. And I don't want them to have to see it like that. There's nothing wrong with hard work, but it definitely takes you all of those
Continue on
hours.
Interstate H1 East for 3
I know
miles.
my father worked hard, my mother worked hard. I come from a hard-working family, and it always felt like we were distant from each other because my father worked so much, my mother worked 2 jobs, and I was brought up by the babysitters her in school, and I just realized that I didn't want to do that to my children. And I've come to the time where I don't want them to look back and say, you know, my dad worked hard. That's all we really know of my dad. I want to spend that time with them. I want them to see that you can start your own business. You can make a way for other people, you know, and you don't have to do like that. It's okay to work hard, but work hard for yourself, not working hard, busting your butt for somebody else and it's taking you away from your family.
Yeah. So why did you choose Gambia?
Well, I chose, at first I was going to be going to Uganda. I had already started learning the language, but it's okay, baby. The only reason why I did not go to Uganda, which I probably still will, is because you have to, in order to purchase land in Uganda, you have to be a citizen of Uganda, and it takes like 15 years to become a citizen, or you have to spend at least about $500,000 as far as business infrastructure in order for them to give you a. Now the Gambia is a little bit
In 2
different.
miles, take
You
exit
know, it's
8C
come
Freeway
in
99
and buy
north
land,
Kamehameha
being a
Highway.
foreigner and stuff like that, and it's a lot easier.
Oh yeah?
So, and the land is a little bit cheaper depending on where you are. Just like anywhere, the closer you are to water, the more expensive it is. But when you go more so inland where there's more country and it has not been cleaned out, where you got literally a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people that I watch and send me information. The land is just so it's just so fertile. You got mango trees, cashews, everything just growing all around. And I'm literally going to use trees that I cut down. I'm going to be using it as a form of compost and mulch. I've already, before I go, I think I've already bought like about, my wife will tell you, maybe about 20 or 30 of like 200-gallon smart pots. These are like fabric pots, and they're humongous size. So I can put on my land because we're getting ready to come into the rainy season of Gambia. And I didn't want my plants to be, get too flooded out. So you gotta have a raised bed. So I'm gonna take me a whole bunch of raised beds down there just to get things started. Main reason why I'm starting the vegetables, not only to feed the restaurant, to feed my family, to feed myself, but that's how I'm gonna feed my chickens. My chickens gonna eat the same exact way. I don't wanna spend too much money. I don't wanna spend too much money on feed. I've been learning from a lot of other poultry farmers that if you grow a certain amount of things, hold on, Leia, hold on, baby. If you grow certain things, you can feed those to your chickens. Certain fresh greens.
In a quarter mile,
All the way
take
down to the
exit
point where I
8C
can take a little
Freeway
5-gallon
99 north
bucket
Kamehameha
and I
Highway.
can put a little piece of chicken or a little raw meat in there, drill some holes in the bucket, let the flies come to the bucket, and then the flies gonna start putting all those maggots in there. And from what I'm hearing, it's like a treat to the chicken. So they told me I can, certain spots around, because I'm gonna have some free range chickens. Certain spots I'm gonna put up the bucket so the chickens can go and stand by the bucket and get them some
In a
treats.
quarter mile,
And I get
merge
some
on
maggots and
Hawaii
stuff like that
99
to have some
north.
protein for them. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say I got everything figured out, but I
How many
definitely have
acres
a.
are you planning to buy?
Say what?
How many acres?
How many acres? Well, they actually do acres. It's different over there. They don't have like acres. It's like goes by meters. They do everything in meters, and how things are so different. Now, I would say an acre out there would be considered like a 20 by 25 meter plot. That would be considered what an acre would be here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna probably do. I'd already told to my wife here, I definitely wanted to start off with probably like 4. I was gonna start off with 4 because I was gonna put my water source. I had to get to my well and everything. I don't know if I'm gonna do a well. I'm probably gonna do the water. What is it when you have when you catch the water?
Catchment.
Yeah, but I want to catch my water for the rainy season, and I'm also going to store water as well. I'm not going to do a burn hole right now because I do know that costs a little bit extra. But I wanted to put like a 2-tier type of water containers that'll be able to feed the both plots of land.
The chicken especially.
Definitely the chicken. Well, I'm gonna be definitely on hand with them. I just want to make sure this is gonna be my first time really dealing with chickens. I'm literally finna be living with the chickens right now. I've already bought me 2 egg incubators. So I've got the egg incubators that I got at the house. They are able to, what is it? 42 eggs. I can incubate 42 eggs at a time. So I'll have at least about 80 eggs going, and I'm hoping that my hatch rate at least be above 50%. If my hatch rate can be above 50%, I'm looking good.